ML Sports Take brought to you by Welch & Company Jewelers and Stumble and Monkey Brewing Company. St. Bonaventure 66, Oklahoma State 64. Three quick things to start the video with. Number one, I thought that Bona's energy and focus was really, really good at the beginning of the game. Now, yeah, were they down early in spots, 8-2, 10-4, 12-4, etc.? Yes. But once they got going, I thought that the Banks jumper and the Woods jumper, getting them to 15-13 and the 19-16, kind of in that area. Once they climbed back down 3 tied, and then they took the lead with the Venning jumper, Bonaventure was kind of on its way and focused from there. And Adams Woods was phenomenal in this game, and I'll get to him in a minute. But I thought that was all a part of the beginning of the game, was that focused desire. We lost to Canisius. We got to win this next game. We're in New York, bright lights, blah, blah, blah. A lot of national media there. So I was excited that they came out and showed the grit and determination of Bona basketball, and then, of course, had the lead at 30-29 at the half. Meanwhile, going into the game, lower body injuries, the ankle problems there with Luke and Flowers, you could go one way or the other. You could say, ooh, might hurt their depth, or give some minutes to some other players. In this specific situation, with the way the matchups were and all the rest, maybe that could benefit Bona. Going in, you had to have that thought. And it turns out that it did, because a couple of other individuals got extra minutes, and we'll get to that in a little bit as well. But that was another thing going into this game where you were kind of thinking, well, maybe, it's either going to affect them one way or the other, and it turned out okay. For St. Bonnie. That was the second thing. The third thing that I want to get into is style-wise, right? I feel like the majority of the time, and I know that we've seen high-flying Bona teams with big-time scorers, with guys who can light it up, Jay Adams and Posley, and even forwards like Stockard, right, and in the Nicholson group, and, players like that, making threes, and, the ability to score in the 70s and 80s and all that. But this recent group, I feel like, and I guess you could probably go back to the Jay Adams group as well, but this recent crew, especially, I guess, with the Iron Men 5 2.0, with Oshun and Kyle and the gang and Welchie, I feel like St. Bonaventure playing in the 60s, going to the basket and making the occasional three, only shooting it when they're relatively wide open, or the miracle three that seems to go in once in a while late in games, but not relying on the three-point shot. Like rebounding and grittiness and big-time defense and all those things that go into winning. I don't really want to say ugly, but I want to say winning tough, because I think there is a difference between winning tough and winning ugly. The 80s Pistons, they kind of won both ways, right? But this was a tough, gritty win, but it wasn't ugly by St. Bonaventure, And I feel like when they're in the 60s and they're going to the basket and they're making shots at the mid-range and just, inside, and not chucking. They did shoot 19 and only made 6. I'll get to that in a second. But it didn't feel like they were constantly relying on the three-point shot. And I feel like when they play in the 60s and they're playing defense, and at the end of the game, when it's a close game and they're even down one, they were down a couple points late in that game last night with a minute and a half to go. And I didn't even flinch. I didn't even panic at all, because I'm like, you know what they're going to do? They're going to figure out a way. They're going to defend. They're going to get a bucket, and they're going to get fouled, and they're going to make those friggin' free throws somehow, some way. And that's the other thing. When they're making free throws and they're defending, and then the grit comes out at the end, I almost like Bonaventure in these spots in the 60s, the mid-60s area, then getting up into the mid to high 70s and trying to get into a shootout and making threes and trying to outscore people, and the big men running wild. No, I think the style here really suits Mark Schmidt, his style, his DNA, his culture, his players, and the group that they have. So I just wanted to get that out there. Now, as far as the game goes, beyond that, foul trouble continues to be a concern with Venning. I mean, you almost wonder, and I saw a lot on the alumni pages in terms of, people kind of discussing Jimmy B and my man Matt Motika, who's a dear friend of mine from school. The idea of where do you want to put people, and 3 and the 4, and do you want to play people at more minutes, and where's Evans go? And, obviously Brown off the bench, what a huge player he was, in this game as well. But Venning's foul trouble. I mean, you wonder here if you want to maybe get him in and then sub him out early and then put him back in so he's ready for the back end of the first half and then fresh for the second half of the duration. I'm not really sure what the magic potion is here, but the foul trouble is certainly a concern. Micah Adams Woods was absolutely positively phenomenal in this game at both ends of the floor. And I love watching this guy's game. I go back to watching him and Charles Pride in Central New York covering their high school careers, Mike Adams Woods at Bishop Ludden, and Charles Pride at CBA, playing for my man Buddy Waklinski, and then moving on to Liverpool, playing for another good friend of mine in terms of Ryan Blackwell, who was a superstar at Syracuse University. But Adams Woods, the patience, and it seemed like sometimes in the offensive set, maybe you get a little crazy and they had to do a quicker screen, quicker pass off. Like, get rid of it. And Adams Woods just calmed it down. And then his driving ability to the basket. He played 35 minutes last night. A huge, huge, huge game for him. Scored 17 points, 5 rebounds, couple of assists. Was a tremendous game, and I thought that he kept things level. He kept things calm. He calmed the storm when things maybe were looking to get out of control. So, by the way, the former Jan Farrell, the old Jan, the former Jan, I heard Dave O'Brien, who I've worked with ESPN many times, I heard him say Esimvus, and then I heard him say Esimvois one time. I'm still going with Esimvus because that's what I was told at the beginning of the year, and that's what I was told by multiple people on social media as well. And so it's Esimvus, right? I mean, I kind of think I want to call him the former Jan because I think it's funny. Maybe I'm not funny, but anyway, I'll probably call them both. But anyway, 38 minutes, and 13 rebounds. But the key, I thought there were two huge. Mike Adams Woods is kind of hard to go against. I mean, he was a key cog in terms of the scoring for sure. But as far as that stuff that I talked about a minute ago in terms of the Schmidt DNA and the culture and playing in the 60s and all that, the two big players playing that grit. Again, not ugly, but that grit, defense, rebounding, that to get us to the final couple minutes to win the bond away. I thought Barry Evans was huge, and I thought that the former Jan was enormous. I mean, Esimvus coming in 13 points, but the 7 rebounds, and Barry Evans, the 7 rebounds, those 14 rebounds, many of which I thought were in clutch spots, those were huge in this basketball game. In fact, to the tune of 32-28, Bonaventure out-rebounded Oklahoma State. In addition to that, Bonnie goes 18 of 21 from the free throw line. St. Bonnie also, despite only shooting 41.2% from the floor, they got to the hoop, mid-range and inside. They did not settle for a lot of three-pointers. Despite shooting 19 of them, there were just a lot of possessions in this game. They were able to drive to the hoop and make it happen. They won the turnover battle. Again, 11 for Bona, 14 for Oklahoma State. I thought Bonaventure did an unbelievable job against Small and Thompson in the backcourt. That was a huge thing in this basketball game, and they forced them into uncomfortable situations. And again, when you get late in the game, Bonaventure locking down, making things work defensively, getting to the free throw line, making free throws and nipping you. And I'm telling you, the last several years, you think about St. Bonnie going down, Charleston Classic, Legends, the Legends Classic last night, big stage, bright lights. Regardless of, and Auburn's going to be tough tonight, but regardless of the result, just seeing St. Bonaventure's name in these tournaments, early season, on the national stage, ESPN games, huge arenas, NBA arenas in big markets, and it doesn't get any bigger than New York City, is a huge thing for us. It's a huge thing for us. St. Bonaventure, man, 2,000 students or whatever the heck the number is now, against 28,000, 30, 34, 50,000, enrollment kind of schools. We're getting into these tournaments. I don't know how Mark Schmidt does it. Regardless of the result, it's unbelievable just to be in there. Auburn, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. Think of these brands. Think of the players who have gone there, multiple sports with the likes of Cam Newton and all the Irish players through past years, going back to the Lou Holtz era in football and basketball players and Mike Bray and the names and, all of that stuff. Eddie Sutton, Oklahoma State. I mean, just to get Bonnet in tournaments like this with those monster brands is a huge thing for St. Bonaventure basketball, regardless of what the result is. And then you win a game like this. I mean, It's pretty great. Now, yeah, did I think the entire game of, damn it, why did you lose to Canisius? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. That entered my mind many, many times. Now, the second half was great. I mean, the former Jan, huge three-pointer with a great assist from Barry. Bonaventure started setting the tone. The defense, again, setting up for the final minutes, making shots, smarts. Daryl Banks the third, when he's driving and he's getting in there and making those shots that are high percentage, I feel like Bonaventure's offensive game goes up that much more. When you keep going into the half, I mean, Micah Adams-Woods with an unbelievable three. They were up one, makes a three with 4 minutes, 4:50 to go. That was huge, going up four. Right answers with a three for Oklahoma State, and then you knew it was going to be kind of a back and forth. Then under 2 minutes, Bonaventure, smart possessions. They're getting to the field goal range. Drive into the 10, they're getting fouled. Adams-Woods, 2 free throws, goes back, makes 2 more free throws. Those free throws in the end, huge. They go up by 1, and then the jumper by Williams to go up 2 for Oak State. Then Adams-Woods again, free throws, boom, ties the game. I'm telling you, just huge free throws, huge moments. Obviously, just small miss that jumper, that enormous positioning by Noel Brown, probably the best rebound of the game. What kind of defense he played, and the hustling and the positioning by him at both ends of the floor. Again, a box score that isn't Wilt Chamberlain-esque. It's not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar-esque. It's not Shaquille O'Neal-esque. But for Bonaventure, it works, and it was great. And he's such a great dude to have come off the bench to spell Venning and really do the things that you need to do down low. I mean, the box out stuff, the grittiness and all the rest, the rebounding, and what a rebound, what a position that was under 10 seconds to go. You're down, you're up 1 at that point when you get the rebound, which was huge, because if Small makes that shot, Bonnie's down. So you're up 1 there. He misses the free throw, and you're like, oh no, because this is going to come down to a 3-point shot. He makes the second one, but oh my God, did it get dicey when Small went up and shot that ball. I mean, Mike Vaccaro, he screenshotted it. The rim is here. The ball is here. How in the world does that not go in? Got lucky, I guess. But my goodness, that one missed free throw. In college basketball when that happens. When you're up 1, you go to the line, you make one. You're like, they're going to hit a 3 and win, because that's what everything comes down to now is making 3-point shots. But lucky for Bonaventure, lucky for us, Small misses, and now Bona will go up against Auburn tonight. Very, very difficult game, at the Legends Classic. This is going to be an unbelievable test. Auburn is so long, so athletic, so fast, but we'll see. Maybe Bonaventure, can pull him back and play that, more defensive game, mid-60s, and try to get it going. But just a great win for St. Bonnie. Really appreciate everybody watching here. Legends Classic victory, man, 66-64, and just tremendous, outstanding, unbelievable. I don't have enough words and superlatives to use for the few guys there who were unbelievable in terms of Barry Evans, and the former Jan was outstanding as well. And obviously Micah Adams-Woods pouring in 17. Bonaventure, by the way, had 4 guys in the starting lineup with double figures. I'll be back with you for the recap for tonight's game on Saturday morning. Of course, I've already told everybody out there. I hope everybody understands that it's awfully hard at night to record, and dog barking and kids upstairs sleeping and all that. I do have my downstairs room here, but again, some sound goes up straight through. If I'm down here, the dog's up there, he wants to play or something, he comes downstairs and he barks, or he'll bark upstairs. It's a nightmare. So I'm just going to try to do the best I can. When the games are in the afternoon, obviously it's a cakewalk. I'll get them right out on the weekend, and we'll go from there, unless something crazy is happening in life where I'm somewhere else. So pretty great stuff last night. And yes, I thought to myself, this team lost to Canisius, but as everybody says, you say, I say, John Rothstein says, that's college basketball. ML Sports Take here, brought to you by Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company and Camillus Golf Club. Hey, do me a huge favor on this YouTube channel. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Trying to climb right up there to the 1,000 subscriber mark. Share it, like it, do everything you can, and I'll be back with you after the Auburn game. Really great to talk with everybody again. Hope everybody is enjoying their November, and as I always tell you, enjoy the games.